What's new, crew? If you're new, my name is Cassandra. Today we are back down in food storage in front of the canning pantry. Plan for this morning is to go ahead and just start making a list for priority canning for 2025's garden season. I'm doing this to help me realize what I need to plant, how much of everything I need to plant, and how many jars I'm really needing to get on the shelf. This is just planning ahead a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Of course, you can plan for one thing and the garden will produce what it wants. So this is just me, if all things go well, this is what I'm hoping to get on the shelf, taking a little bit of inventory of what's left. I'm not somebody who wants to rotate through every single one of my jars every single year. I'm somebody who likes to have some rollover. You can see I've got lots of rollovers here. I like to do that because it keeps my canning projects fresh, but it also is, in my opinion, the easiest and most kind of like relaxed way to add a lot of variety and a lot of bulk to the food storage. So I like to have a lot of items for my 1 year supply that I just can't grow enough of for a 2-year supply. Things like tomato sauces or pasta sauces, pizza sauces, things like that. I will probably never get a 2-year supply of those because I would need like 200 jars of those to get us through 2 years or so. Having my basic things that I can every single year, some of those things like pasta sauces, pizza sauces, pickles. We go through a lot of maybe like diced tomatoes, canned apples, things like that that we just go through a whole lot of. And then other things that are on the shelves like jams, jellies, some fun condiment things, barbecue sauces, just like some fun different recipes that we don't go through quite as often, but I like to have on the shelf for variety. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a tour of what's down here as well, and then at the same time just me kind of writing down on my list and taking inventory of things for priority wise this coming year. Currently very pregnant with baby number 5, and I want this canning season to be as stress-free as it can be. So this is me just making my list. I'm going to tape it to the inside of one of my cabinets. That way when it comes to preserving, and I am most likely going to be sleep deprived, tired, not working at my most optimal self, as a lot of us are in the newborn trenches of things, I can just kind of revert back to this list, and all of the thinking and the hard mathing and all that stuff will already have been done by future or by past me. So this is a gift to my future self from present self. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what we have on the shelf. In here, this is some pork tallow that we rendered and canned. I have a video on this. If I have videos on anything, I will try to link them down below for you, but this is the first time I learned how to actually pressure can these, and having these shelf stable are really nice. I really like having these. We have one lonely thing of sauerkraut back there. We finally got a crock. Been searching for a long time for one of these. Finally found one at an antique shop. It's 12 gallons. So this year we're going to be making our own sauerkraut. Usually we do it as a family project with my in-laws and bring home as many jars as we see fit. So this year we're doing our own, which I'm really excited about. This is rhubarb lemonade concentrate. We have not tried these yet. I wanted to save these for like spring, summer, so I'll let you know how that is. This is apple juice. We also made this together. It's more of a concentrate, no sugar added to this. We have tried this, really like it. I gave a couple quarts to my sister-in-law as well, and her kids loved it as well. This is a sangria mix. We made this together during the holidays, handed some out as Christmas gifts. Some of these are, this one is the sangria mix. This one is cranberry juice. I have tried the cranberry juice. Next time I make it, I will add a lot more sugar to it. I like to use this as a mixer. Not for alcoholic drinks, obviously, with being pregnant, but I will take some of this cranberry juice and mix it with like Sprite or 7-Up or like a white soda, and I like it that way. So that's how we've been using that. This is some turkey pot pie filling that we also canned together with some store-bought items and some homegrown items. So it's a good mix of things in this jar. This is just some pizza sauce I canned up. It's the only thing I have left. And then my sister-in-law gifted me this spiced marinara. I have not tried this yet. We should try that together. Celery and carrots, This is a bulk thing of Sloppy Joe mix we made back in 2023, I think. That's kind of one of the things about not labeling jars. You don't know what year they were. I'm trying to get better at that, but we made this in a huge bulk batch and I haven't had to make it since. Absolutely love it. It's a little watery, but how I've combated that is last year I dehydrated my tomato skins and tomato seeds, and I used that as a thickener to thick up some of my runnier sauces and whatnot. Works great. If you don't want to do that, you can use just a little bit of tomato paste. It works kind of like two in the same, but we love that. Not gonna have to can that for a while. We have a ton of that left on the shelf. This is just plain celery. This is chili base. Canned this in 2022. This is some of my favorite base. We canned some of these last year too, 2024. But these are one of our family favorite go-tos. It's all of the, it is the Mrs. Wages chili seasoning base. We absolutely love it. We use it for chilies. I also use this to make like a chili rice. It's so good. We love this stuff. I will probably can more of this year as well, just because we go through seasons where we don't use it a lot, and then we will use it a crazy amount, and I can clear the shelf in a couple of weeks with this when we're on a kick of using it. Plain carrots, some sliced, some kind of like whole carrots. We roast these with some honey and they're really, really good. 2 little jars of tomato juice left. We went through all of our quarts and stuff. I will probably can some of that up as well, just while doing other tomato projects. These are crushed tomatoes. I only did these once, a handful of years ago. I have 5 left on the shelf. I do like having these on occasion, so I could can a couple more of these if I have an influx of tomatoes, but if I don't, this is not a priority item for me. This is when we move into condiments. This is some beer mustard we did recently. 2 different types of barbecue sauce, original and then kind of like a sweet and sour. We like to half and half this, so we'll put half of a jar of one and then half of a jar of a sweet and sour, and that's a good like combination mix for us. And then this is some Victorian barbecue sauce, which is made out of rhubarb. The Victorian barbecue sauce here on the end, this darker one, we like to use on like venison, ground venison, or like ground game meats specifically for like meatloafs and things instead of ketchup. That's how we've been using that. We haven't been going through it very quickly. It's not our favorite thing. I probably will not make that again, but a lot of other people really like it. It's just not for us. This is probably our most used section of things. These are some cookie jar mixes that we also made during the holidays. I can link this video down below. Really like these. These will always have a space on my shelf. These are really convenient. I love having them. I also plan on making some muffin in a jars next. Really like these. These are all of our pickled items. We kind of just keep them all together, but this is like some pickled coleslaw. This is 100% homegrown, which is really nice. I'm the only one that likes this. I canned these in 2023. I'm not going through these very fast either, but these are really good in my opinion. I like these on top of like a pulled pork sandwich or a pulled barbecue chicken sandwich. They're pretty nice. I just haven't been going through them super fast. These are some sweet and sour pickles. We don't go through these very often. It's just kind of like an every once in a while thing. Our favorite is a kosher dill pickle. We go through jars and jars and jars of that every single year. You can see we have some dilly beans here. We only have 3 jars left of those. These are also a family favorite. We're gonna have to can more of those. But last year, for the first time, we canned up these like mixed veggies. It's carrots, green beans, cucumbers, and Brussels sprouts that are all pickled in here together with a little bit of onion, some garlic. It's so good. We will definitely be doing more of these this year. These like mixed veggie pickled jars are so great. And then lots of just like regular pickles. Some of them are spears and some of them are like hamburger pickles. Some of them have a mix of each in a jar. This is zucchini relish. We canned these in 2023. Also not a family favorite, which is okay. We've just been giving these out as like housewarming gifts for in like Christmas baskets and things. And we also won't be canning this up again. It was a year I just had a lot of zucchini and wanted to try something new, but not our favorite. Corn relish, we really do like this. This is also 100% homegrown, like that. We will can more of that this year. We've been really slow on the salsa this year. I know slow on salsa this year is because In the first trimester of my pregnancy, I could not even look at tomatoes, salsa, anything like that, so I wasn't cooking with it a lot. We don't use it a lot as like chips and dip, at least not this year. Last year we did that a lot. It was one of our go-to snacks, but this year it just hasn't been. But I usually use it as like a rotel because it is like diced tomatoes, onions, carrots, a little bit of garlic. It's really great. I love it as a rice seasoner to make like a Mexican style rice or something like that. We use it when we do tacos, burritos, quesadillas, things like that. It's really good, but we've just been kind of slow on it, so I really don't know if I'm gonna have to can more salsa next year or not. Like I said, last year we went through a ton of jars and I didn't make enough, and this year I made more jars than I did last year, and we've only gone through like 3 jars. So it just kind of depends when your family's going through different seasons of eating. Sometimes you need a lot and sometimes you need a little, which is another reason why I like to have a mixed variety on my shelf, because it just gives us way more options. This is like I'm pretty sure it's called a ranchera sauce. It's kind of like an enchilada sauce. We don't love it. Made it in 2023. I need to make a priority to go through these, but my husband, my kids just really don't like them, so maybe I need to gift them. We're gonna figure out something to do with these. These are green salsas. Also not a super family favorite. Probably won't be canning these again. We're moving into jams and jellies and applesauces and things. These are pear honeys. These are so good. It's basically like a pear apple butter. We've been really liking these, but I like to can my jams and stuff in little jam jars because they make it really fun to hand out as gifts with like a fresh loaf of bread or something. A really nice homemade gift. We've got lots of hot sauce here of different varieties. These are also a really fun gifting item. Hot sauces, love those. Lots and lots and lots of applesauce. I probably will not can applesauce this year. I usually do 22 to 20. Yeah, I usually do 1 load in my 22-quart roaster pot full of applesauce. Maybe a crock pot full as well, but we just haven't been going through it very fast this year. But I know once baby's born, we'll go through a lot of applesauce, so we'll probably clear this out within the year and then can start fresh in 2026. This is some cranberry applesauce. I really like this. Both of our applesauces we use a lot in baking for like muffins and cakes and things, so we'll see how that goes. We only have 1 jar left of diced apples or sliced apples. We're gonna have to make sure we do a lot of those this year, so instead of doing applesauce, we're gonna focus on like whole apples and things for pies and streusels and whatnot. Blackberry jams, apple butters from 2 different years, and then we have smaller jams here. This is Christmas jam. We have a strawberry rhubarb jam, some honey jam that the kids make every spring, another strawberry rhubarb jam, and then we just have a couple jars of diced pineapple on the shelf. The kids really like these. I just can up pineapple when I buy too much of it and the kids don't eat through it fast enough. I'll just make it a priority to can it. It's never something that I like purposely go to can. This is just to prevent food waste, and then we have some dehydrated things here, spices, herbs, tea mixes, things like that. Now we've taken 2 seconds to kind of go through our shelf and look at things and tell you guys what everything is. I'm gonna start making my priority list here, and first things first is going to be pizza sauces, spaghetti sauces. We use them interchangeably. I had a really bad tomato harvest last year, so I'm really hoping this year is better and we can get a year's worth of jars up on the shelf. I know that I need somewhere between like 60 and 100 jars to get us through an entire year. So I'm hoping that I can hit that goal. If not, I don't, but that's what I'm hoping for. We're also gonna make sure we're doing pickled veggies. We also need to make sure we're doing some dilly beans. Those are a family favorite around here. We always tell someone when they're coming down to get a jar of pickled veggies or pickles off the shelf, grab 2 jars, because the first jar you bring up, once you pop it open, we're gonna leave it on the counter and it's gonna be gone. It's not gonna make its way into the fridge, so you better bring up a second jar to get in the fridge, because otherwise we're just gonna run down all the time to get pickles. So always grab 2 jars. We wanted to do some more corn relish. We've been really liking that on top of like tacos or nachos and things. We're gonna make sure we're doing some whole apples and maybe even some whole pears possibly. Of course, we gotta make sure we're getting some sauerkraut on the shelf, but I won't have to remind myself of that because my husband and I are both really excited to use our new crock this year. Put some tomato juice on here. We should also probably put some jams on here. That section's getting a little low, but we're people who never can like a whole bunch of jam right now because berries can be kind of expensive when you're talking about canning up jams and jellies compared to like other things. We did put in a permaculture orchard, so we're hoping in the next handful of years we'll have like a surplus of berries to make our own jams and jellies. Then it won't be expensive because we'll be producing them instead of purchasing them. However, the reason we don't can a lot of them, one, is because of the expense, but two, we really like to go to like flea markets, Amish shops, Mennonite shops around us, and whenever you go to those things, they always have a ton of different jams and jellies to purchase, and usually they're not a bad price. They're like $4, $5 sometimes for a pint jar. And we really like to try those from different places, different stores, different families, different shops, because everybody has a little bit of their own flair. They all taste a little bit different, and we like to just purchase those things from local families, local shops and whatnot. So we haven't ever canned a whole bunch of them. I'll maybe do like 2 batches a year of a couple different types of jams. But like you can see, last year I did a huge batch of pear honey. We did a lot of apple butters. So we won't purchase those things, but like fruit jams, fruit spreads and things we kind of like to purchase. But if I have time or come across a good deal or something, I think it's a good idea to have that on the list to go ahead and try to make sure we're doing that. So we got our list. Very simple, very quick, very easy. Gave you guys a little bit of a very quick overview of what's happening down here on the canning shelf. Wherever you guys are, you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.